Hi, and welcome to the Art of Film Funding. I'm your co-host, Claire Papin, along with writer-producer Carole Dean, author of the best-selling book, The Art of Film Funding, and host of this show. Carole is the president of From the Heart Productions, a nonprofit organization that has supported filmmakers with the Roy W. Dean Grant, fiscal sponsorship, education, and resources for over 30 years. Carole also teaches the Learn Producing class. Each class features an industry expert guest instructor and is designed to give the information, guidance, and support to become a successful producer. You can learn more about this class and all of From the Heart Productions offerings at FromTheHeartProductions.com.
Grants are a wonderful way to fund your film, and we have the director of grants at From the Heart Productions, and she's going to tell us just what she wants to see in your proposals.
So glad you could join us on the Art of Film Funding podcast, brought to you by From the Heart Productions, where we help independent filmmakers find the funding, resources, and confidence they need to bring important stories to life. I'm Claire Papin, and today we have a very special conversation about one of the subjects filmmakers ask us about the most. How do you create a grant application that stands out and gives you the best possible chance of winning? Our guest today is Carole Joyce, Vice President of From the Heart Productions and Director of our grant programs, including the Roy W. Dean Grants and the Carole Dorothy Joyce Grants. Carole has the unique opportunity to see grant applications from the other side of the table. She knows what makes an application memorable, what causes an application to lose momentum, and what filmmakers can do to communicate the heart, purpose, and potential of their projects more effectively. And who better to lead this conversation than Carole Dean, President and founder of From the Heart Productions and creator of the Roy W. Dean Grant. Together, Carole Dean and Carole Joyce are going to take us behind the scenes of the grant process and share practical ideas filmmakers can use to strengthen their applications and increase their chances of success. So get out your notebook, because this conversation could make a real difference in your next grant application. And Carole Dean, I am turning this over to you.
Thank you, Claire. Great information. And Carole Joyce, we're so happy to have you. We're going to start with what makes a grant application stand out. Carole, you've reviewed so many applications. When you start reading one, what makes you sit up and pay attention? What separates one application from the others? That where others may just blend in, what is it you're looking for?
Well, I'm looking for the filmmaker who's the artist and who's the creator to bear their soul on the page. My job is to remind you to color outside the lines and put your creativity on paper. We need to feel your frequency and your soul imprint onto the document. Even if the document is coming in a digital form and received through an email, your frequency is still on that page. So
you could tell passion then, right? Passion pops out.
yeah, we want to know that you're going to make this with or without us, that you are creative, you're brilliant, that you have an amazing team, that this is an expression of your soul and that you're going to make this film. And every aspect of that is constantly being reiterated onto the page. That's what makes a winning grant. We're looking for people that are going to excel and maybe be the next Spike Lee or the next Martin Scorsese. And that happens when you just are creative. And so my expression here is to remind you to kind of put it in a magazine format, get out there, take with your camera, take real photos of the scenes that you're filming or the images that you're creating. And remember that you are bringing this filmmaking to the screen. And we want to see that in your proposal.
So it's a story, right? How important is the story? Because we often tell filmmakers that people don't fund films, they fund stories. So tell us how important that is in the application.
Well, as Caroline says, and you can see on the website, story, story, story. What is the story? Please tell me the story. And why is this story important to us as a grantor? And has this story been told? And what is unique about this story from your essence? We have a great story that we love with Helen Hall. It's about Tesla and the whole life of Tesla. You want to talk a little bit more about that story, Carole?
Oh, it's about one of his inventions to give everyone free electricity. Of course, it was overlooked because free is not a good word to use. Well, he was being funded by Westinghouse to do the research on electricity. And when Westinghouse found out that his design was to go straight to everyone's home free, well, of course, he said, stop that investigation. But Tesla didn't, and he created a format that needs to be implemented soon because we are running out of oil and we need a new form of electricity. That's what Helen's film is all about.
That's such a great story. I'll give you, I mean, there's so many different stories that come to us, and we remember the project by the story. Like there's another one that came to us, it's called Rescue Hearts. And it's just a simple story how a deep connection with a heart, a horse, can heal your whole, bring you into the present moment. And is very healing, and it gives you that pure love connection. And that's just a great story too. So everybody has their own story that they want to tell. And our job at From the Heart is to hear the story, tap into the story, and help get that story told and made. So what is your story? Think about that.
Right. So I often hear you say, put some passion into your project, right?
Exactly. And why does the passion matter? Well, first of all, as a filmmaker, you have to convince people to get up at 6 in the morning and to stop doing their life, but to work with you on your passion, on your creation, on your film. So, what gets you up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and what is going to get these filmmakers and these other um, members of your team to get up at 6 in the morning? It's your passion. Your passion is infectious. You get so excited about the project and it has to be made. It's such a great story. That is what we want to read on the grant application. And that's what we want to tap into when we pick up the project. I have the ability to feel the frequency of the project the moment I get it and go, oh, I know that's a winner because of the vibration of the project. So your passion is what brings this vibration up. Now, if you're making a documentary, the average time to make a documentary is about 6 years. You are married to this project for life. pretty much. This will be your legacy. This is your digital calling card. This is who you are. So please remember that and keep that passion going. You need that passion to help you maintain the work, keep moving forward, and to finish the project. Your passion will help you win the grant.
Wow, that's great to hear. Now, let's talk about what are the most common grant application mistakes. You've seen applications that are excellent and others that have a wonderful film behind them, but they somehow didn't communicate it effectively. So, what do you think are the biggest mistakes filmmakers make when applying for grants?
Wow. There's two areas that they have a mistake. The simplest mistake is they don't color outside the lines, and they see the application and they think, I got to fit everything into the 6 pages, and they just press it with words and they make it hard to read, and they make the words very little, and they forget pictures. They don't even put a picture of themselves or a picture of the team. And that's the simplest mistake. So again, as grantors, we're looking to tune in to you, the filmmaker. And so we need to tap into your frequency through your photos, through your team photos. We need to brag about yourself more in your bios. Did you win awards? Who else won awards? You have an A-list team. Um, with your bios and your history and everything you do, that's a very, very important part. Okay, so please brag about yourself. And don't feel bad if you say, so and so is an award-winning editor. Even if it's some little award, it doesn't matter. We need to know that you've won awards. Okay, so put that in there. And the second thing is the budget. Carole, will you help me talk a little bit about the budget? The budget is usually unrealistic, and they actually haven't done the work on the budget. They kind of think, well, I can make this for like 20,000, so I'm just going to put 20,000 in there. And they don't break it down, and they don't really think about what things cost and every aspect of the budget. You want to talk about that a little bit more?
Yes, because it's post and music rights. Those are the two areas where people fall short. When we see a budget for post for like 10,000 or something, we go into shock and say, wait a minute, a good editor nowadays is 2,500 a week or 3,000 a week, and you're looking at what, 10, 20 weeks of editing for a normal featured doc. So you really need to get your numbers up front and specifically pay attention to post and to music rights. That's what we find under budgeted.
Yeah.
Yes, but you and Carole, sometimes you find that they don't shine a light on the weakest part of their proposals, right?
Right. um, yes, if there's an expression is in a screenwriting, if there's a hole in the script, it's okay. Just shine a light on it. Example, if this is your first film, tell the beginning of the application, this is your first film. We're always looking for first-time filmmakers. Those are the best. You can say I've made several, you know, proposals and decks, but this is my first feature, and I've never made a film before, and this is my first film. Then immediately explain to us that you've surrendered yourself with a highly experienced team member, and point out the members of the team that won awards and have made many films, and your mentor. And even from the heart, you can put from the heart. I'm mentored by From the Heart. I'm in the Thrive class. I'm working with Carole Joyce. I'm going to make this film. Make the grantors feel secure that you may not, that you can make this film, and that your crew knows that how to make your film. Whatever your weakest part of the proposal is, don't leave it for us to find. Shine a light on it and tell us that you know how you're going to get this problem solved and that you're going to get it solved. Yes.
Right. That's really important if you're a first-time filmmaker. I may not have the experience, but my crew does, and they're here to support me. So you can depend on us to deliver a professional film. Now, Carole, what do you find is important about distribution plan? Because we have a whole page for people to put distribution information, and often people say, I intend to take it to Sundance, South by Southwest, Toronto, and Berlin for film festivals, and that's all they say. So, what do you do about that?
Well, the most important thing is for you to know how to market and distribute your film. I'm just going to say that I've been in many meetings with top high level executives, and the first question they ask, who is your market? How are you going to market your film? Everyone is going to ask you this. So, this is the number one thing that you need to know in your body and in your being before you even make this film. Are you considering community screenings, virtual screenings, the educational market? Are you hiring an outreach company to help you? Are you making an impact film? Are you going to be bringing on Peter Broderick to help you do your impact film? Who are your mentors that is helping you with your marketing? Put that in there because that will help strengthen your proposal. What are your plans to get your film seen by people you created this film for?
Great. So that might include community screenings, virtual screenings, educational market, taking it to schools. Are you hiring an outreach person? All of those things, right? And identifying your audience.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, then to you as a grantor, how important are the trailer and the visual materials for filmmakers submitting a trailer, a teaser, sample footage? What makes those materials effective, Carole? Why should a filmmaker try to make the judges feel after watching their sample? How should they feel? Should they be, I want more, or joyous, or this is a great film? What do you want?
I want to be able to feel the tone of the film. I want to be entertained, but I also want to know what the story is in this short period of time when we have the trailer there. I need to know, does it have a beginning, middle, end? What is the story? Do I understand what's going on? Are they making this film, you know, well? Is it creative? Does it color outside the lines? Is it technically good? Does it have good sound? Is it good images? All of those things combined come together. And that is so important for the grantor to say, wow, this trailer is amazing. The film is phenomenal. I can't wait to see the finished project.
Yes, that's exactly what people want, what the judges want. I can't wait to see the finished film. That's why they fund you, Carole. That's great. So, okay.
Okay,
What
so
make
we oh, go on. Yes.
um I just you mentioned to me one time that what you love is when people write their application in a visual way so you can actually see the film from the written material.
Yes. And that's really important because, again, all throughout the project, you're getting the tone, the essence, the frequency, all of that's coming together. It's kind of like a good log line as well. You're looking for all the elements. Is it on the edge of your seat suspense? Is it uplifting, inspiring? Is it a deep message? Is it purpose driven? all of that is seen and felt through the written word and the visual information. So I like looking at more of a magazine format of the proposal, and also write it from a sixth grade education. Please make every word something simple that we can understand. Um, don't make it too complicated. Um, right? Can we talk about that a little bit more?
Yes, I think it's important to truly get the message of the film. Uh, and so putting that in writing, but making it as visual as possible. This is very important to be able to see in your mind the film while you're reading the proposal. That is a very good selling point, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's why at the beginning I said, get your camera, get your DP, get out there and take real photos of some of the scenes that you're going to be shooting so I can do a mind meld with you and your project and see it come alive on your proposal.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about budget and fundraising plan because we as grantors want to know that the filmmaker can actually complete the project. So what should applicants include in their budget, fundraising strategy, and the financial plan to give us that confidence?
Well, definitely don't just give somebody else your budget to do. That's the first step. And putting your little producer hat on, you need to get all your invoices, estimates gathered up yourself, for everything that everything's going to cost, and list out and line out your budget, line by line by line. And as Mother teaches as well, um, with Maureen, and producer to producer, you walk through the budget in your mind as well as you're writing your budget. So you can see all the landmines. You can see, okay, I've got everything in here and everything is listed. So just take the time to do your budget. Also, with your fundraising strategy, think of all the different ways that you're going to be raising the money for this. Okay, I'm going to do a crowdfunding. I'm going to do smiling and dialing. I'm going to pick up the phone and call people. I'm going to do a house party. I'm going to do corporate matching gifts through From the Heart. I'm going to do a Zoom event with From the Heart. And I'm going to invite people on. I'm going to have 50 people on the call, and I'm going to tell them all about my project. And I'm going to open up for questions. And I'm going to have a really successful campaign. The most important thing is you have to get up close and in personal with people these days. Don't just think that if you send somebody an email, they're going to donate. You have to communicate to these people the way they communicate. So let's say Gen Z, they like a text or they like social media, or you're talking to your family. Well, they're going to want a phone call, or you're talking to the baby boomers. They'll take an email. Um, Communicate with everyone the way they communicate. Now, we need to see that in your fundraising strategy. We need to see everything that I've mentioned in there, that you're going to try everything that I just mentioned, would list them all out, maybe in percentages. Say, I'm going to do 20% cold calls. I'm going to do crowdfunding, and that's going to be 10%. I'm going to do Zoom events and I'm going to do in-person events, and then categorize exactly how much you're going to spend on each part of the fundraising strategy. I'm going to do 10% of going after grants. These are the grants I'm going to. I'm going after high net worth individuals. These are the people that I'm targeting that are sympathetic to my cause and to my story. And These are the brand integrations I'm going after. These are the corporate companies I'm going after. It's a lot. We teach this from the heart, so you can come back in, but list everything. Put the kitchen sink in there. Don't, uh, you know, come too short. Put everything, every unique idea that you have for fundraising and this climate, put it on the page. And the financial plan is, the whole forecast of how long it's going to take to make this film. How much money is it going to cost? What film festivals are you going to? Are you going to be working with the film festival doctor? Are you going to only choose 10 film festivals? How much does it cost to get to the film festivals? What are you going to do after you get to the film festivals? Are you going to bring in a distribution expert to help you? Put all of that in the document. You can never put too much from the heart. Just put everything in there. Okay.
Well, I think you would be really pleased when people tell you how they're fundraising, and particularly those who put the percentage of time on each area, because that tells you that they've analyzed what's the best thing for their film, and they're putting their heart in it, and they know where the money is. And particularly when they can come up with their budget this way and say that by doing this with the funding parties, crowdfunding, high net worth individuals, etc., that will bring them the total budget, right?
Yeah. We just like we want to see the film, and you map out the visual style, please put your producer hat on and map out how you're going to do the fundraising. How many people on your team, all the different categories we talked about, how much you're going to work on each category, and put that in the document. It's very important that we see that. Then we really know you're going to make this film with or without us.
Great.
Yes.
So, and let's talk about a cover letter. And what do you want them to put in it, Carole? Because I know in the Dean grant, there is a cover letter.
Okay. Cover letter is very, very important. Keep this cover letter for everything you do. Okay. So again, put your heart on the sleeve in the cover letter. This is a good time to use this whenever possible to, really explain personally why you're doing this. Give this cover letter your mission statement. I'm making this film because it fits my mission as a filmmaker. I'm making this film about wild horses, and wild horses are dying of climate change. I need to make this film to raise money for food for wild horses. You have a personal connection to the story and how this story benefits society. Now, give us everything. Give us your status of your team, where you are in productions, what are your goals, and what are your intentions are on this letter. Some grantors look at the cover letter and they choose the filmmaker based on the cover letter. And festivals do that too. We were working with Annabelle Murano from Ethos. And if she doesn't like the cover letter and the heart's not on the sleeve in the cover letter, then she passes. So this is very important. Take the time to do a really good cover letter. Don't just stick it in AI, write it yourself, and tell us about you and tell us about your film and how you're going to get this done and when.
Good. Now, what if a filmmaker has applied before and they didn't win? Can they come back?
Of course, yes. Many filmmakers come back from the heart, but also many filmmakers get discouraged after being turned down for a grant. What would you say to somebody who applied for the Roy W. Dean grant or another grant that wasn't selected? I would say Please apply again. I would, when we do our personal grant consultations, we walk through your deck and we say all the wonderful things we like about it, all the areas that we feel that are missing, and ways that you can do it better, also things that are not clear, and ways to communicate the story better. And we do all that through that. But we want you to keep leveling up, keep working on your application, and do it better and better, because many of our winners applied 3 times and then they win, right? So not necessarily you're going to win the first time, but the second time or the third time, you will win your grant. So never give up. That's part of winning here in the industry. Mhm.
Well, you're right, Carol, because we don't many filmmakers don't realize it, but with the same judges, we recognize, oh, look what she's done in a year since she applied before. And also, we remember I said, do that. And look here, she did that. So this is how you win grants. You get feedback, you take action, you do what was suggested, even if it's only for that grant. That's what they want. And then you can win, particularly when they see the changes. And it's all about developing the film, right, Carol?
Yes. And we are a witness to you and your creation as you work on your first draft, your second draft, your 15th draft. We're a part of you just constantly doing version 2.0, 3.0, and you're honing in the story, because every time you show your story to somebody or somebody sees it, they ask you a question, and then you realize, oh, I didn't put the answer in there. And then you go ahead and put the answer in there so they don't have to ask the question again. So your application should be evergreen, as Mom says, and just constantly updating it, correct?
Yes, constantly. So after everything you've learned from working with filmmakers and reviewing grant applications, what gives you the greatest joy when you discover a project you believe deserves support?
My favorite part of working with filmmakers is watching them get into their stride, where they have their idea, they're putting it on paper, they're applying for grants, and they're gathering all the information, they're making all the changes, and then they find the core of the story and they stick to that story, and then they make it. They can see their vision, they know that they're going to make it, and they are off and running, and nothing's going to stop them. And that's just a moment in time that you can see at that point of the application, and at that point of the filmmaker's realization that this is really happening and I'm doing that. That gives me the most joy, to get our filmmakers or any filmmakers listening here today to that point that they know that this is happening.
That's marvelous. Thank you so much, Carol, for giving us an important look inside the film grant process. And to our filmmakers listening today, remember that a strong grant application isn't simply a request for money, it's an opportunity to help someone understand your vision, to believe in your ability to complete the film, and to understand why your story matters. So if you're looking for funding for your own project, now is a perfect time to take what you've learned today and put it into action. From the Heart Productions Fall Grant is open now, and applicants are invited to join us Our deadline is October 31st, 2026. So there is an incredible list of film funding grants on our website. Go to fromtheheartproductions.com and look under resources, and you'll find some lists of grants. And to apply for our grant, just look on the first page of the grant. You'll find of the production company, you'll find our grants are all there. We even have a video explaining how to apply for the grant. And while you're there, you can explore the resources that we often give to independent filmmakers through our sponsorship program. Our classes, free classes are available, podcasts, film funding education. And we have a new Thrive Cart section with 20 free classes on film funding. So keep believing in your story, keep building your audience, and most importantly, keep asking for the money you need to make your film. I'm Carole Dean. We'll be back next week, Claire Papin and I, on the art of film funding.
Now, in its second edition, Carole Dean's popular book, The Art of Film Funding, has 12 new chapters to cover all areas of film financing and how to avoid expensive pitfalls. Learn how to start with an idea and end with a trailer, how to make an ask for money, create your story structure and your trailer, legal advice, fair use, successful crowdfunding, how to ask for music rights, and what insurance you can't shoot without. Available on Amazon under Carole Dean and at FromTheHeartProductions.com. I want to remind our listeners that David Raiklin is a brilliant and talented award-winning musician who scores films and can compose music for a trio or for a full orchestra. David is a very good friend to the independent filmmaker and comes highly recommended by From the Heart Productions. If you need music to help tell your story, please contact him at davidraiklin.com. That's David, RAIKLEN.com. And Carole and I want to thank you for tuning in to The Art of Film Funding. Please visit our website at FromTheHeartProductions.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Good luck with your films, everyone.